So let's start with our first page, which contains section A of Fur Elise. Here are the first 8 measures. For the right hand, we're starting off on the E, 2 octaves above middle C with our 5th finger. Then we'll play the D sharp right next to it with our 4th, back to the E with our 5th, D sharp again, back up to the E with our 5th, and then after that, which is the E the 3rd time, we'll play the B below that with our 2nd, then back up to the D above that, not the D sharp, but the D with our 4th, then the C below that with our 3rd, and then the A below that with our 1st. It's when we strike this A that our left hand will come in playing its A 2 octaves below middle C with its 5th. So these A's will hit together, and at this point the sustain pedal will go down. Keep it down, while the left hand then plays the E above the A it just played with its 2nd, then the A above that with its 1st. At this point, the right hand will need to jump down and play middle C with its 1st, E above that with its 2nd, and then the A above that with its 4th. And it's very important that you use the 4th finger, because this will set us up for the next note, which is a B. Now let me do just these 2 measures again, and those 2 pickup notes at the very beginning. Next, the right hand will play the B above middle C with its 5th, and with it the left hand will jump down to the E 2 octaves below middle C with its 5th. So these will hit together and the sustain pedal will come up and down. Next, left hand, I need for you to play the E below middle C with your 1st. So that's an octave jump from the note you just played. Then you'll cross over that E with your 1st finger with your 3rd finger to play the G sharp above that. You can also use the 2nd finger if you would like. I've seen both fingering notated, and either one works well for me. But the main thing is you don't want to try to get the E with your 2nd finger and then the G sharp with your 1st finger. We try to keep our 5th and 1st fingers, really of both hands, off the black keys as much as we can because they are shorter than the other fingers. So fingers 2, 3, and 4 work better on the black keys. And there are some cases where you will have to use your 5th or your 1st finger. But for the most part, because they're shorter, we try to keep them off the black keys. So once again, at measure 3, we have the right hand playing the B, left hand playing the E. They hit together, the pedal went up and down. Left hand then played the E below middle C with the 1st, crossed over with the 2nd or 3rd, to play the G sharp above that. Then right hand, I want you to play the E above middle C with your 1st, G sharp above that with your 2nd, and then the B above that with your 4th. Once again, we're using the 4th so that our 5th finger will be free for the next note. And at measure 4, we will have that next note, which is the C above middle C with the right hand's 5th. Left hand with it, you'll be playing the A 2 below middle C with your 5th. These will hit together, sustain pedal up and down. Left hand play the E above the A you just played using finger 2, and then the A above that with finger 1. And that gets us half of the way through measure 4. And let me play just that much. Then the right hand will play the E above middle C with its 1st, then go up to play the E above that with its 5th, much like what we did at the beginning. D sharp below that with your 4th. I pick up the pedal here. E above that with your 5th, D sharp again, back up to the E. Then down to the B with your 2nd, D above that with your 4th, C below that with your 3rd. So it's just like what we did in measure 1, except we had an extra E there in the middle rather of measure 4. So let's go just that far from the beginning so we can get that in there. And what's next at measure 6 is what we did in measure 2. The same thing. Then right here in measure 7, it's almost the same thing we did in measure 3. Watch as I play it. So you can see that last 3-note phrase is different. So in measure 7, right hand will play the B above middle C. Left hand will play the E2 below middle C, just like we did in measure 3. These sit together, pedal up and down. Then left hand will play the E below middle C with its first, cross over to the G sharp. Right hand will play the E above middle C with its first, but then here's where it's different. It will then play the C above middle C with its fifth, B below that with its fourth, and then in measure 8 it will come to rest on the A above middle C with its third, and with it left hand you'll play the A, 2 below middle C with your fifth. These sit together, pedal up and down, then left hand will play the E above the A it just played with its second, and then the A above that with its first. And that's all of the way through measure 8. So let me play just that much again. From here we go back to the beginning. And at this point, we get ready to go into a subsection of section A, which is in a different key. And this puts us technically at measure 9, which if you're looking at the music, is probably notated as a second ending to that group of 8 measures. From here, though, we do go into measure 10, and we'll take a look at it separately. So work on that much, come back here, and we will look at the second half of section A.